Welcome back. In the last task, we continued to build the second conditional statement so that we could control the sprite and play our game. In this task, we will add additional code to set the next level. You should be logged in to your new Scratch account. If you have not already logged in, please pause the video now to load your Scratch account and open your Game1 file. Let's add code to enable the sprite to get to the next level. We will be working in the main algorithm. Click on the backdrop in the Stage section of the code editor screen. Click on the Backdrops tab. Click on the Square tool to draw a new colored square or rectangle. Change the fill of the square to red. Use the color toggle buttons to create a true red color. Draw the square in the backdrop screen. Click on the Outline menu and change to No Outline. Next, return to the code editor to set the new code for the red box. Click on the Code tab, like we did, Outline menu, and change to No Outline. Next, return to the code editor to set the new code for the red box. Click on the Code tab, like we did, then click on Dot so that we can write the code for Dot. Click on the Control Block menu. Click, drag, drop an if-then statement block. Drop it into the first algorithm directly beneath the second set y velocity block. Return to the Sensing block menu. Click, drag, drop touching color into the new if-then statement block. Change the color to red using the same process we did earlier by using the dropper tool in the color menu. Next, choose the Event block menu. Click, drag, drop the Broadcast X block into the then portion of the new if-then block. Broadcast. The broadcast message 1. Here. Change the message by clicking the drop-down menu. Choose New Message. Type the new message, Next Level. Click OK. Finally, click on the Motion block menu. Notice the XY coordinates in the Sprite menu block. Here. Click, drag, drop the Go to XY block and drop it directly underneath the when green flag clicked on the top of the algorithm. Change the X, Y values to the values shown in the sprite box for the location of the sprite. Let's click Stop to stop running code. Bring the sprite back up to set on the purple box. Now let's look at the location of the sprite. -187 for X. Type in -187, press enter. -94 for Y. Type in -94, press enter. This is now the beginning location for the sprite, or the dog. Next, let's fix the background for the level. Click on the backdrop in the stage screen. We are going to create code for this level. Click on the Events menu. We had code there that didn't belong, so I dropped it back into the code menus and it disappeared. Click on the Events menu. Click Drag Drop when green flag clicked into the code editor. Then click Drag Drop the When I Receive Next Level block into the code editor. So we will have two small algorithms running this backdrop. Click on the Looks block menu. Click Drag Drop the Switch backdrop to X directly under the When space key, or when green flag drop are clicked. Make sure they are connected and make sure the moon is selected in the drop-down menu. So we can see if we go to backdrop, this is called Moon 2. Yours may be Moon 1 or Moon, so make sure the correct backdrop is selected. Next, click Drag Drop the next backdrop block to connect it to the When I Receive block. And we want to make sure when I receive the next level is selected in the menu, Next Level. Right-click on the moon backdrop and choose Duplicate. So click on Backdrop, right-click, Duplicate. A new backdrop, Moon 3, or for you, Moon 2, may appear. Make sure it is selected and choose the Square tool to add a vertical rectangle. Here, Square. We're going to add a vertical rectangle. Make sure it is selected and choose the Square tool to add a vertical rectangle. Here, Square. We're going to add a vertical rectangle, and we're going to change the color of the rectangle to aqua blue. Rectangle, goal. Here, Square. We're going to add a vertical rectangle, and we're going to change the color of the rectangle to aqua blue. Use your toggle or sliders to change that color. Next, click on the sprite to return to the code editor for the sprite. Click on the sprite, click on the Code tab. Click the Control Block menu. Click Drag, Drop another if-then block into the first algorithm. Make sure it is directly under the previous if-then conditional block. Click the Sensing Control Block menu. click, drag, drop the key space pressed into the if-else statement block. Change the space drop down to the left arrow. So click the down arrow and change space to left arrow. Next, choose the motion block menu. Click drag, point in direction 90 block to the second part of the if then block and leave the value as is. Then click, point, and drag the change X by and connect it directly below the point in direction block. Change the value to -5 and press enter. Right-click that if statement, click duplicate, drag and drop below the current if-then conditional stop block statement. Change the down arrow or where it says left arrow to right arrow. Change the value to 90 degrees or leave it at 90, and then change X value by final stop block statement. Change the down arrow or where it says left arrow to right arrow. Change the value to 90 degrees or leave it at 90, and then change X value by 5. So +5, and then press enter. Next, click, drag, drop the go to XY block and connect it directly underneath the broadcast block. So we want to scroll up. The values should match what is at the top, -187 and so +5, and then press enter. Next, click, drag, drop the go to XY block and connect it directly underneath the broadcast block. So we want to scroll up. The values should match what is at the top, -187 and -94. You have now added a level and gave the dog the ability to jump over a block. Let's run the values should match what is at the top, -187 and -94. You have now added so +5, and then press enter. Next, click, drag, drop the go to XY block and connect it directly underneath the broadcast block. So we want to scroll up. The values should match what is at the top, -187 and -94. You have now added a level and gave the dog the ability to jump over a block. Let's run the code to make sure it works. Click on the green flag. And it appears that we may be missing a block because the dog does not move forward. It appears that when we built our if-then statement, the last one, it appeared underneath or inside the previous if-then statement. We need to pull that out and put it directly underneath the previous if-then statement. Now let's try again. This is a key part of computer programming, is to debug your program. So click on the green flag, press your arrows backwards, forward. When we get to the red square, now we can move to the next level. Press our up arrow to jump. And notice when the dog gets to the red square, it starts over. If you need more time to complete this task, pause the video now. You can continue to practice by adding levels and additional advancements to the game. In the next lesson, Basic Game Development with Levels using Scratch, we will add additional levels and features to the game. And congratulations, you have completed Introduction to Basic Game Development using Scratch, Project 1 of 2. Thank you for taking the Introduction to Basic Game Development using Scratch project. You created a basic game using an introductory web-based coding program called Scratch. Learning to code will allow you to build basic coding or computer science skills and a fundamental understanding in order to grow your programming abilities. You engaged in the design process in order to develop an understanding of how to develop algorithms that control programs, use event-driven programming, and debug a program.